should be live. Yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Actually, I'm going to put the chat over here. I'm going to put... Where did DLive go? There's DLive. Put DLive over here. What is happening? Anyway, hello everyone. Welcome. I guess my iPad it's almost dead, so it doesn't want to stay on. Today I'm going to be working on some stained glass designs. Actually, this time, hopefully. I kind of had some ideas. I glanced at this book that I purchased at a thrift store many years ago, and I thought it would be kind of cool to make like this whole thing, like make the picture frame, like make a whole piece that looks like a picture of flowers, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of thinking of doing like a gothic, like dark green for the frame, and then doing like I'm not quite sure yet, but I just had this idea, so we're gonna just kind of roll with it. You're gonna be upside down, which I don't really think anyone can complain because I used to do all of my streams upside down or to the side. So that's just how we're gonna roll. So I'm just gonna get into it. I think we're gonna do, I always like to just start with 12 by 12. Hopefully, actually, let me see and make sure the exposure isn't too crappy with this. Let me alter the exposure. Let's see. Configure auto exposure. I think that we'll keep it at this. Sorry, I'm like, it's like I'm like rave mode right now. Let's see, DLive. Okay, good. I have it all open. Okay. I don't really know how I'm gonna make kind of what I have in my brain, but a lot of the best things just start by you just do it. We're gonna do a quadrant of symmetry. I really like Procreate, but it's kind of limited with some of the stuff that you can do, like the symmetry and whatnot. So honestly, I kind of just like this frame. I'm just looking at this. So let's just see. Let's see what we can do. Nope. You can just tell it's gonna be a bad line. Is the camera? I feel like it's so crappy and bright. Hold on, I gotta try to mess with it more. I'm sorry, y'all. It's really bothering me. It's really bothering me. Configure video, please. Okay. Contrast? No, that's crappy. Brightness? Maybe that's a little bit better. White balance. Oh, no. Alright. I think that's a little better. Howdy! How are you? Welcome! Welcome, welcome. Sorry for the lo-fi stream, but y'all have been with me through the most lo-fi of lo-fi, so we're out here. We're doing it. I'm just gonna try to get like... Oh, that's terrible. What am I doing? Okay, so there's a bump, and then there's a... It's like a bracket. Okay, there's like a bracket. So we're just gonna do a bracket. And then there's another bump. Alright, it's an okay start. I don't hate it, but we gotta fix this point. Hold on. This is why quadrants are great. Something like... Hold on. That's pretty much it. Alright. It's a little rough, but that's fine. Okay, so then I like to do a separate layer. For like this oval part. This is 2. Whoa! Why is the brightness? Where's my brightness going? Come back. Why didn't it automatically adjust brightness? I did not tell it to do that. Something like that. Hopefully all the sound and stuff is good. I really tried to make sure everything was on point. I think this whole thing needs to be squished like this way. I think that's nice. Oh, that's not even. Alright, well, we're gonna just do this. Whoops. We're going to undo this selection, please, for the love of my goodness. Go. Why? Okay, there we go. Freehand selection is the best. Something like that. I'm pretty quiet. I might just be not talking loudly enough. Hold on. That might just be me. What if I do... No, that just turns up my own volume. I can't make it louder, so I'm gonna just... I'll pull you in, and I'll try to talk like this. I'll try to talk really intensely into the mic without busting your ears wide open. And I'll turn the music up a little bit too. That way you can hear it, because there's music. I got feedback last time that it was too loud and to just not have any music, but it's like really awkward to me to not have anything playing in the background, so... Alright, so maybe like something like this for the shape. Let's see. Ooh, I actually meant when I separated this, I shouldn't have really combined these into the same layer. So what we're going to do is cut and paste so it's on its own layer again. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Hope everyone is doing well. It's Friday. I am a little bit late to start because I put my little girl, my little baby to bed 5 minutes before I started the stream. So let's see. I tried my best to time it with 9 p.m., but you can't force a baby to go to bed if they don't want to. And we had to do the whole rigmarole and the whole bath time and you know. Alright, come on. Let's do... Ugh, I need to use the keyboard. Hold on, sorry. Bluetooth. Oh, did the battery on this thing finally die? No. Okay, never mind. I've had this iPad for 3 years now, along with the keyboard, and I have not charged the keyboard a single time. I have no idea how I haven't had to charge it, because it's like there's a charging port. I would have thought she was in college by now. Lord help me. Please don't let time go by that quickly. And yeah, no, I always appreciate audio feedback because sometimes, like every time I get off the stream, I have to break everything down. So then when I go to stream again, I have to set everything back up. So like my settings, I have to redo all the settings and I have to figure out everything so I can get, that's why, you know, I'll start streaming and it's just like, we can't hear you, or like your camera's messed up. And it's just like, it's because I have to restart every single time. It's ridiculous. Because this is Brian's like work computer. Fledgelard. How's it going? Fledgelard. Welcome. Alright. This might be something that would be better for being painted, but we'll just do it the best we can. Alright, I'm gonna use my syrup brush, which is just my like plain, normal, whatever scribbly brush. We're just trying to get some ideas on paper, or trying to get ideas on the screen. Remind me what screen cover thing you use. Screen cover thing. I have oh, are you talking about I have a keyboard. I think it's Logitech. I don't know, honestly. I think it's Logitech. It's like a Logitech folding keyboard thing. Oh, I don't have one of those. I know what you're talking about. The screen protectors that feel like paper. This screen protector was already on the iPad. Like the person who owned it, because I got this refurbished or whatever. The person who had it before me, this was already on it. I think. I don't remember. I might have bought my own screen protectors and then put it on, but I don't think I did. This one does not feel like paper. This is just like, it's just smooth. So I'm not used to drawing on paper, so I wanted to get the paper thingy, but I was like, I don't really need it because I'm not used to drawing on paper. So I have to redo all of my Teams Zooms a few times a week, switching between yeah. Yup. Gotta mess with those settings again and again and again. I don't even know what kind of flower we're doing. I usually just make, I like make flowers up. I don't think a single flower that I've ever, like, if I don't base it, if I'm not looking at a reference, I have no idea what flowers I'm drawing. I just kind of draw. Some sort of periwinkle, forget-me-not thing, daisy thing. it's just how I do. That's been like the weirdest thing to evolve. I hate this leaf. This leaf's gotta go. That's been the weirdest thing, is that I went from not being used to drawing anything to, after doing so many customs for people and drawing, I mean, I still do Patreon patterns. I still draw 2 to 5 every month. So like with everything I've done, all the customs that I've done, and doing Patreon for the last 4 years, I feel like I could literally draw anything as long as it's nature themed. And it's just really weird. It's a strange thing to do, I guess. If that makes sense. Pressed flowers. Making a press. I want to press flowers. Ooh. Full crescent, oblique, half crescent flowers, shapes. Very nice. Oh! What a beautiful design. Have you ever seen those lo-fi YouTube channels? They have digital drawings with minimal animation that repeats over and over. I don't think so. I don't think I have. I probably have, but I'm just like I'm not visualizing properly, I think, what you're describing. I had a friend ask me to do a custom of a Pekingese specifically. Aww. I'm a little scared of something that complex. Oh, no. Don't be scared of it. It's so much fun. If you want any help, I can give you like little pointers. But honestly, when you do pet portraits, it feels like cheating. You just trace the pet's portrait. Like you just trace it. Now, part comes into the contour lines and like where the actual glass is going to break, because that does make a huge difference in portraying the dog's personality. So I get it. It can be a lot, but it's super, super fun, especially like if you have like a digital way of playing around with it. It's a ton of fun. Looking for someone that can make them. I do music remixes, but I need visuals. Can you, Fledge, can you give me put a link for an example of what you're talking about? Or could you send it to me on Discord and I can look at what you're talking about? Cuz there's something really cool. I don't know if this would be too much, but you can in Procreate, there's a way that you can see, isn't there? There's a way that it like animates every line you've done. Or maybe I'm thinking of Clip Studio Paint. I don't know. Yeah, just let me know. I would be happy to help. Cause I know it can be intimidating. I hate this flower. I'm gonna erase it. It needs to be more organic, and I just made that one up and it just doesn't fit. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna steal something from something I've drawn before. Let's see. No, not personal projects. You. I could turn this into glass. This was me playing around with stuff. Let's see. Do I have the... What are you? I think this is the outline. Let's turn this up. And then I'm going to copy. I don't know why my iPad's like slow right now. Paste. Wow, that's terrible. But that's okay. We can trace over it. We'll trace over it. It's like really fuzzy. Hello. Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to open my phone cuz I want to see what you're talking about while we're on stream. Let's see. Really cool art. Oh no, I know the music you're talking about. I meant the like the drawings. The digital drawings with minimal animation. That's the part that I wanted to see. I'm just like browsing Discord now. Let's see. I like these leaves. We're gonna do this. Sometimes, although, like I said earlier, like, oh, I feel like I can draw so much stuff, but then I also am just like, there's times where I'm like, how did I draw that? How did I do this? How did I draw this? I don't remember how I drew this, and it like came out looking so cool. Because obviously I'm stealing it right now. Stealing it from myself. Oh, I see what you're talking about. I see what you mean. I didn't even see that it was moving. Hold on, let me look at it again, because I don't even notice the movements that she's making. I thought it was just, that was just to the music. So yeah, that's just like an animation. I don't know how to do any animation. I understand what you're saying now. I don't know why that didn't click for me earlier. Minimal animation. I'm sure it's you can do animation. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with this thing? Hold on. Why is it yellow? What? Why is my battery yellow? What does that mean? I don't know how to use anything Apple related. Is this on like power saving mode or something? I'm sick of it. I don't want power saving mode. Brightness and display. Battery. There we go. It was on low power mode. I got it. Thank you. Okay. Let's open this back up. There has to be a way that I can cheat with this better. There's an outline somewhere of all of these, and it is, let's see, outline, you, it's you. This is what I'm gonna do. Copy. Thank you. Got him. I don't know, I guess it just enters that on its own. Ha! Here we go. Perfect. Okay. I feel like this needs to be maybe here. Kind of follows the curve. Let's turn this off. All right, so we're kind of Frankensteining this. Delete. Whoops. Let's see, we'll do. There we go. There we go. This is what I want. So we're gonna line this up like so. That's about what we want. And then I'm going to duplicate this. The crappy part, one thing I really do not like about Clip Studio is that once it leaves the canvas, once your layer is outside of the white, it completely deletes it. And I am not used to that at all. Photoshop doesn't do that. So we're gonna duplicate this. Photoshop doesn't do that, and I just like came from Photoshop, so even Clip Studio Paint doesn't do that. All right, so we are going to make this bigger. And then I feel like this needs to, I want to do something with leaves over here, but I'm not quite sure what I want to do yet. Cut and paste into your own layer. Okay. Alright, like this is kind of what I'm thinking. So we're going to duplicate this because I always like to make sure I have all my layers duplicated. Alright, we're gonna erase this. What? Erase this. Erase this. erase this. Erase that. Like that, maybe. Undo that. This leaf is going to move over here, like so. Get rid of you. I don't need the little berry things. I'm gonna try my best. We're gonna power through this. I'm really tired right now. But we're gonna power through because I wanna get something cool done. Let's see. This, we don't really need to keep that. We don't need, this is like, gonna mush those two together, and then we're gonna play with the positioning again. I feel like I liked how it was before, but maybe just make it a little bigger. I just don't know. I don't know what should go here or if anything needs to go there. Okay, so this is kind of like the rough outline. I have a really, this one is like highly detailed and I love it. So we're gonna steal this. Doesn't need to be that big. We're gonna steal these lines. Steal them from myself. Don't get it twisted. Okay. Now all right, so now The monoline is what allows this to transfer into a stained glass pattern really beautifully. Because you can just cut, no problem, easy peasy. I don't even know how big this would be, but I can't imagine myself actually cutting all these pieces. I think what's more likely to happen is I personally would paint these lines. Although it would be absolutely stunning to do it in all different colors of glass. Not colors, but like if you cut each piece individually and you made it flow with the way that the glass kind of had the patterns. If that makes sense, like the grain of the glass is how I used to refer to it. So we're gonna pretend like we're gonna do that. I was I've been really talking about and planning on doing stained glass again like pretty soon here, which is why I'm starting up these drawing some more patterns. And I was sitting around just thinking about stuff, and I realized that the last time I soldered glass, I never actually cleaned up anything in the basement, and my soldering iron and everything is still just sitting down there unprotected in super humid basement. So if it survives, I keep forgetting to go check on it. Like I remembered this the other day, and I was like, "Oh no, I need to go check on all my equipment." And then I just haven't. Cuz I just hate dealing with the cleanup. These look like little onions. The trick to this too is figuring out a way to have glass break lines but it not be obnoxious. So like for instance, you make your little petals, your little blossoms, your little buds, but then all of this has to be glass too. So normally like you'd put break lines like maybe here, and that's not too bad to contour, but it starts looking really annoying. So there's an art to break lines. That actually doesn't look that bad. But here, like that's annoying. That's so annoying to me. I hate it. So it's kind of difficult sometimes. Floral stuff especially can be hard. Because you're trying to get a natural look while having to adhere to the laws of the glass gods. Keeping in mind how things are going to break. How big of pieces you need to make, and like the limitations for piece sizes. Something funny to share is that when I first started doing stained glass, I was like, okay, how am I going to set myself apart from other people? How am I going to be like different glass artist than other people? And I was like, what if I do like hyper miniature stained glass. Like do a super super realistic or like super detailed like picture that's like this big, like 2 by 3 inches, and have it have like 100 pieces in it. And that was this like absolutely ridiculous idea that I had before I knew how to do anything stained glass related. And it's one of those things you think back on and you're just like, that was stupid. That was not smart. I didn't really know any better because I didn't know how to do stained glass at that point, or like I had a very minimal understanding of how to do stuff. I try my best to like clean up the pattern as I go, because I don't like to have these kind of like right here there's this jagged edge. I don't like that. I don't like leaving that. I do if I'm the only one that's going to be using the pattern, although it's like kind of a habit that I try to keep myself in, because if I draw patterns for other people, I like to make them as clean as possible. I don't want it to be sloppy. Sometimes I'm sure I miss parts. I just made it worse. I'm sure I miss stuff sometimes, but I try not to. Like this. This is so ugly. So let's make this brush a little smaller. Getting there. I still feel like there needs to be something over here. I'm not sure what. Maybe like ooh, no. No, we don't do rough sketches in monoline. No, thank you. Maybe just like a little thing like right here that kind of curves. Or would it look weird if we did it a little higher? Does that take away from the flow too much? Because I kind of like this. I just want there to be something a little more. Just a little bit more. I definitely don't like that. Thinking of 100 pieces at a time makes me shudder. I can cut tiny, no problem. The foil and solder. That's what I didn't know, you know? I think the soldering would be fine, although I feel like you would constantly be covering pieces up. You would have to use one of those electric soldering tips, like that's just like a point, you know, it's like almost like this. You'd have to do that. And I'm sure that's annoying. But the foiling, that's what would be terrible. That would be awful. I don't ever want to do that. Honestly, like, I feel like you would have to use that. If you wanted to make something that tiny, you would have to use that foil that comes in like a big sheet, like a big sticker sheet, and then wrap the piece in that and then cut out with like an X-Acto knife the faces of it, and if the pieces are that small, that would be a nightmare. So, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the mic. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? Hold on. Yeah. Here we go. Now you can see more of the screen, I suppose. And keep in mind, y'all are seeing it upside down, so sorry about that. That is what we're working with. You know what? Maybe all it needs is the bottom for it to curve more, so the big flower at the center and the bottom, the last flower at the bottom, is in the center. Maybe that's all we need to do. Seeing it on the screen up there has helped my perspective. And yeah, you would have to use very, very, very thin foil. The smallest pieces I ever worked with, I think, were on the cat skull that I did, and I've done it twice, but the first time I ever did the cat skull, back when I first started, the teeth, oh no, it wasn't that, but the teeth were like the size of like a grain of rice, like those itty bitty little tiny chiclet cat teeth, you know, that they have. They're so tiny. I made those because I made it a little bit bigger than real life. Actually quite a bit bigger than like a real life cat skull. But they were still the tiniest little chiclet teeth. But I've made something else and I can't remember what I made. But the piece of glass, I swear, this is like to size, to scale. The piece of glass was that big. That is like a grain of rice. I don't remember what it was, but I foiled. And of course, I had to make the glass a little bit bigger than what was going to be shown, but that was terrible. You just have to do your best. You just have to do your best with that kind of stuff. I have had to do some just small things like blades of grass, and I use less than. Yet, I don't remember what foil size I used. It was the smallest one, and then for all the pieces that have been that tiny, I had to go back in with my X-Acto knife, and I had to very carefully trim as much of the edges off as possible to where there was just barely a lip of the foil, so you could actually see the glass. The tiny teeth. Oh my gosh, those were the tiniest little teeth. Okay, so what I was talking about was okay. How do I want to do this? Because I'm going to group these, and then I'm going to duplicate the group because I want those to just stay like that. And then I'm going to merge those. And then I am not very good at using Liquify, but this is a good time to practice. Okay, so we want to undo. How do I undo? Reset? Reset. Okay. So I just want to push the whole thing. Okay, maybe that's not the right. Undo that Liquify. Let's do this. Let's see if we can just kind of like this. What do we think of that? I don't want the flowers to be much bigger. I like the leaves where they're at. So then we would just have to alter this stem. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna look at it through your eyes. I think I like that. Okay. So, let's trace this. So this is the clean lines. And we need monoline. Yes, we are stained glassing. I'm taking an old flower drawing that I did, cherry, and I'm converting it into a stained glass thing. I have this pressed flowers book that I thrifted forever ago, and I saw it right before I was about to stream, and I was like, I feel like something like this would be very cool. So that's what we're doing. It originally, I drew up that picture frame to look like the one on the book, and then this was something that I had drawn, oh my gosh, 2 years ago, like right after I got my iPad, to practice all the different, there's like 105 layers, like all the different blurs and stuff like that. So we took that and we are turning it into something that I could theoretically make in stained glass. So we want to try to get this little curvy stem like that. Whoops. I am going to be attempting to go back to stained glass, yes. We're kind of at a point where things have leveled out. The baby, our baby's a lot easier to manage. She actually likes my husband now. So for a long time, it was just like all she wanted was me. And then it was just like crying and it was terrible. So we are working our way. I still have to figure out actually where I'm going to do it because the basement is awful and I hate our basement and it's creepy, but I'm planning. So one step at a time, but I'm getting the itch, I suppose you could say. Even if it's just to make something that I want to make for my house. I just watched Poltergeist clean up the Indian burial ground in the backyard. It's our our house is really old. Um, it was so we live in West Virginia, and it was originally owned by probably coal miners. It was built sometime between my friend and I found the map of this area, and it has like a square on the little map for every building, every structure, and you can see exactly on the map where our land is. And so it showed up between 1895 and 1911 is some time when our house was built. So it's not like early 1800s or anything crazy like that, but it's over 100 years old for sure. So, um there's occasionally 1903. Yeah, so it's probably about the same. And it was such a dupe. Not that it would have mattered, but when we like the listing for the house, it said it was built in 1940. So, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. But yeah, the basement just sucks. Oh, it does. Oh my gosh. My grandparents live in a house that was built in 1865. And every time I go to their house, I smell that, like, it's not elderly smell, it's old house smell, and it's just, and I smelled it for the first like few weeks that we lived here. Yeah, exactly. I was, we were getting settled in, and I was just like, I would be sitting there in the house, or in here, anywhere in the house, and I would just be like, ah, it smells like my grandparents' house. Hi. I liked yeah, so it has that old house smell. I can't smell it anymore because I'm used to it, but yeah, it has that smell. It has that old house stank. It's a good smell though. It's not bad. It just smells, I don't know, ghosty. Smells like asbestos ghosts or something. It's good. I was really hoping. Oh, I can hit the reset button. Honestly, every time I solder, I wear like a respirator with an N95 in it. So I should keep that I should keep that in mind next time when I do solder.
For sure.
For sure. Useless fact. No, it's very useful to me. I like old house smell. I like that our house has a smell, but I don't like that I can't smell it anymore. That's funny too. That I didn't even remember that that was a thing when we first moved in. There were a lot of emotions when we first moved in because it was just like it was kind of a mess when we moved in. Brian had been here for a week, and there's just a lot of like little things that I like. It just bothered me about like the kind of chipping paint on some of the parts of the trim, and like all my super detailed mind, like I couldn't stop hyper focusing on it. But no, there's no coal miner memorabilia. The only thing that is there's a shower in the basement. So that's theoretically where they would have had water hooked up, and there would have been like they would have showered when they got home. So there is a shower, and that is where I have my makeshift glass studio, is by that shower. Um, but otherwise, no. The guy that owned this house, they rented it out as like a vacation rental, and his wife passed away, and he didn't feel like managing it. Like, he just like didn't want to have anything to do with it. So he was like, I just want to sell it. So I was really hoping there would be like some cool flooring or something in the basement, like something cool, because there was a bunch of stuff left here. And the only thing that was left in the basement, like other than all the other, there's tons of old gallons of paint. I'm sure it was all like old lead paint gallons, because they're just completely rusted. You couldn't even see a label. But there was flooring, and it was original, or not original, but it was 1970s-ish era Armstrong asbestos vinyl floor tiles. Like, I looked up the SKU number and everything because you could barely make it out. And it was a color pattern that they came out with in like the 70s or 80s. And I was like, no! I don't want asbestos tiles. And it's like fine if you don't break them. But, especially they were 8x8 tiles, which is like, anyway, so yeah. That was all that was left. That was like, it was pristine, never been used. So there's little fun surprises everywhere in this house. Every time I swear, every time I turn around, there's some new surprise. One of the most recent yeah, right. One of the most recent new surprises, and this happened last night. It sounds tasty. One of the most recent surprises was it was really windy, and the wind pretty much always hits the back of our house, just the way that it comes off the mountains. And it was really cold because it snowed last night. And I went, and I don't know why I checked this, but I put my hands in front of the outlets that are on that back wall, and there was just wind blowing out of the outlets on both sides. And I was like, cool, there's like no insulation, and like the siding is probably missing underneath, because there's vinyl siding on the outside, but who knows what is under that. So
hello.
Hi,
I see
Dad.
hellos.
Hi, Dad. I just like I never knew that it did that. Of all the windy nights, it was the one time that I was like, let me palpate this, and it was just like, they said nice beard.
Appreciate it.
It's a lot shorter right now than it was before.
Yeah, trimmed it back a little bit. It's the hair. Wild hair.
You can't see it at all. Brian has very long hair. Very long. He's gonna cut it soon, though.
I've been saying that
For years.
How long? Not years.
Years.
Maybe.
Fledgling said, love me some antique stank. It has real hella antique stank. We have an outbuilding too, and it's basically the size of the house. It's like a massive, used to like be someone's house. It was like an old pole barn that they converted into a house, I guess, in like the 70s. But there's a bunch of stuff in there, in the rafters. There's an old wood burning stove that you open that, and that has some intense antique stank, especially because the roof is really old too, so it's been leaking in parts, and like there's parts of the drywall that they had installed back in the 70s that it's like moldy. It's terrible. No, it's our slave quarters. There's a lot of stuff we got to work on. We'll get to eventually. But yeah, the worst part about the outbuilding antique stank is that the guy,
Pooped in it.
no, he didn't poop in it. He took out all the good stuff. The guy who sold us the house lived down the street.
Oh no! I mean, he still left a lot of good stuff.
But he took a lot of the good stuff.
Yeah.
And he just probably threw it out.
Yeah, probably.
It's just like, come on, dude.
Probably.
Like, he was literally just selling all of his homes, and he's gonna go live in a retirement community. And he'd be like, do you want to buy this stuff? And we'd be like, yeah, how much you want for it? And he would say it, and then we'd be like, oh, well, yeah, sure. And he'd be like, oh, no, I'm gonna see if someone else will give me a better offer. My valuable asbestos tiles. I know, of course he couldn't take the asbestos tiles.
Nope.
He couldn't do that.
No, he could. Well, I don't even want to get started about the monuments, but
The monuments. Ah! How many monuments are there?
there is 3. There was 4. I completely turned one into a smoldering crater.
Yeah, so we have 4 acres, and about 3 of those acres are open field. And in this open field, there were 4 massive piles of just like junk, like mattresses. It was once a mattress, but now it's just springs, just boards covered in lead paint, cinder blocks, just junk, just old wooden stuff they didn't want, and they just put it in piles. And we call it Ronuments because the guy's name was Ron.
Yeah.
And Brian burned one of them, but there's still 3. West Virginia.
I stacked a lot of stuff from the outbuilding in there too. But
Mountain Mama.
yeah, we'll get it all figured out. We need to get up on the roof and put some screws in there. You know, there's actually
Useful apple. Just
probably boring for the stream, but there's roof segments in the outbuilding.
roof segments.
Yeah, like the roofing that they used on the outbuilding. There's like a bunch of spare ones.
Ah, cool.
Extra ones that didn't get used. So
That's
I'm gonna get up there and drill those in there on the broken side, and then the sides that are getting flappy, I'm gonna drill those down too. Because I really like the outbuilding.
Yeah.
I did my first official workout in there today, and it was great. It was great.
That's good.
And it has such a beautiful view too. Like
that cliffside.
yeah, you open the big barn doors, and just in front of you is just mountains. So I definitely plan on using that as a backdrop for streaming. Because I need to get my watch time back up.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. I got demonetized.
Go check out Bull Strength.
Help me get monetized.
Bull
again.
Strength Athletics on YouTube.
YouTube. Unmonetized. Well, I'm not unmonetized yet, but they said they gave me the 30-day ticker. They're going to mail me my last check and tell me to go away until I get my watch hours up.
Hoarding takes time and money and skills. Hoarding is not for the weak. But yeah, no, it's honestly, I think a lot of it is because of where we live. Like, we're pretty remote, so it's not easy to get rid of trash. Did you see what they found under the pyramids? No. What'd they find? Just like a bunker for the elite?
Under the pyramids?
They just find, I don't know. No, I didn't see what they found. Or what they found.
I did hear something about that.
Mega structures that go like a mile deep, and at the bottom, all the pyramids are connected. Ooh, that's interesting.
It's the last. It's like the last iteration of elites. That was their bug out bunker.
Hey, I just made that up.
Well, I mean, the way you described it, if it's a mile down and they're all connected, that sounds exactly like all the weird tile systems they have here that totally don't exist.
Hoarding is free. You're just not hoarding right. It sounds like a dad joke, to be honest. I think there's a delicate balance between hoarding and being a maximalist. I don't want the stuff that's on this property. I don't want the stuff. I don't want all the monuments and all the lead paint and like screws. We have to get like a giant magnet.
It's not really that bad. It's not taking up a lot of real estate.
No, it's not. The piles themselves, I would say, are...
They're at least contained.
The piles are like max 15 by 15 feet. Max. And that's like the biggest one. The other ones are smaller.
Yeah.
That's like the outbuilding, the ghost of the outbuilding.
Yeah. Well, actually... one of them's actually bare. There's just cinder blocks there because I already burned all the wood that was sitting on it. So technically, there's only 2 that need to be burned.
But like, that one that's in the spot that I want to put the future like guest house art studio thing. That's just like a bunch of like metal and boards covered in flaking lead paint with like rusty nails sticking up.
Oh, I know. It's awful.
We need a giant magnet on wheels and just... I'm sure it would sound like when you vacuum popcorn kernels. It would just be like so loud.
We gotta get that metal detector that we're supposed to get.
Yeah, we're gonna borrow our friend's metal detector. I think this looks really nice. I think this is gonna be really cool. Here, I'm gonna turn it around. So now we need to do the crappy part, which is figure out how we're gonna split everything.
This is your glass pattern?
Yep.
Wow.
It was something
Wow.
That's cool. It's pretty neat.
I haven't seen you. It's just I haven't seen you do one of those in a minute.
I mean, I draw them every month for Patreon.
You draw? Well, no, I know. One that you're gonna actually use for art. I mean, you don't draw like really big, elaborate stuff for Patreon. Do you?
No. Honey, I Shrunk Jeremy. Hi, welcome. Let's see. If it's real, it's the biggest finding of our lifetimes. I put a drawing of what they found in current events. Ooh, a very rarely used.
They found monuments under the pyramids. That explains why. I mean, the man pretty much looked like a human mummy, so.
Whoa!
Like a living mummy. That's a good one. Cherry round. Excellent joke.
Absolutely excellent joke. 10 out of 10.
Just tied it all together. Tied it all together.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, like, did they just find it, or did Egypt finally, like, let people know?
Yeah. Since Mavis Institute Justin is in the chat, I got a signal booster. 4 times the signal. It's insane. It's really cool. You'll have to geek out.
Okay, can you give some context so everyone knows what you're talking about?
It's a shortwave radio. I got a shortwave radio, and it's just a recent sort of hobby that I've been messing with, like tuning into international stations and hearing radio shows and eavesdropping on weird random conversations and air traffic control. And I mean, this thing's just really cool. It's really cool. The fact that we're kind of at the top of a mountain, like, we pick up all kinds of crazy stuff. Um, radio station from Japan, from Vietnam, from China. Like I've just all over the world stuff. It's cool. Oh, and you can listen to Voice of the Report of the Week.
It's a ham radio, right?
Yeah, it's a ham receiver. Yes.
Receiver. Yeah, you don't have the actual.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to transmit, but yeah, it's a short, mid, long wave.
They prefer to be called Wavely Challenge, not shortwave. It's not how large your wave is, but
I mean, that's actually pretty brilliant. It's actually really, it's true. It's crazy how far the signals can.
Hold on, I have to copy that, and I think I'm gonna. Oh, where'd it go?
One thing I heard.
Copy.
One thing I tuned into recently. I got a recording of it. It was completely bat crazy, but on some island, where is it? What's it called?
Palau,
off the coast of Korea. They were doing, it's some kind of church that's out there.
Well, it's in the Pacific. It's not
in the Pacific. Yeah,
it's close to Japan, kind of.
Japan. Gotcha. Well, either way, it's in the Asian Pacific. And I picked up a radio signal of some kind of weird church where everybody in there was speaking in tongues, and it was just like nonstop moaning and weird gibberish stuff.
It was pretty cool.
And there was like a priest that was talking normal, while everyone else was just kind of speaking in tongues. It was nuts.
I'm gonna find a place in my Discord to quote what Cherry said. I'm sending it to myself right now.
Good job. That's good.
It's made me laugh. Where did D-Live go? D-Live.
You minimized it.
Oh gosh. Did I delete it? No. There it is.
It's off the internet now.
Thank you for the ice cream, Joss. Can't trust anyone in the media. I'm not big on aliens, but it does have that vibe. Yeah. No, I understand what you mean. It seems like everything has like a spin to it. A spin.
You just gotta see stuff for yourself.
I would love to go see the pyramids one day.
Else.
I would love it. All right. We're kind of just talking about other stuff, and I do. It's like pretty much my bedtime right now, and if I don't go to bed, I will be a mummy in the morning. It's like $40 a year. You can get something called Live Joiner that displays all of your different streams, chats in one place. I'm not affiliated with it. Ooh, I'm gonna write that down. Live. Woo. Joiner. Yeah, I use Rumble Studio, but it doesn't show DLive. It's not like integrated with DLive chat. It shows all the other ones. Also, I forgot. I feel like every time I do this, I forget to actually display the chats on screen. Is it displaying the Twitch Cherry's comment on screen right now? Yeah, it integrates all of them, but it doesn't show DLives. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna wrap up. I'll let him know that you said bye, Dad, Cherry. It just started display. I don't know why I clicked it and it has that comment, and I don't know why. So sorry, I'm like being a boomer. Stop displaying that one. Okay, there we go. But anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with me. It was a fun little drawing sesh, even though I kind of just trace stuff, but shh, it's okay. But yeah, sorry, I'm just reading comments. Thanks so much for hanging out, y'all. I'll be back next Friday. Same time, as bleary-eyed as ever. I was doing the 2 p.m. on Saturday streams and it just like didn't work as much, but oh, Fledge Lord! Thank you for the ice creams. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'll see you guys next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, or 9-ish p.m. And until then, I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a good weekend and all that good stuff. Oh, Cherry said, bye, Dad.
Bye, Cherry. Nice talk, Cherry. Nice joke.
All right. Good night, everyone. Take care. Oh, Mags, no. I'm leaving. It's my bedtime. Bye, everyone.